Today on Judge Faith, a social media battle puts a salon full of stylists at a standstill.
Basically, she just walked out, which I have a screenshot of her saying that on Facebook.
I would tell her, like, Tanya, you got to calm down on how you're talking to people, because she would send us massive texts saying, if I find another hairball in the sink, I'm taking the sinks out the salon.
I want to see a screen grab of what you say happened on Facebook. You can't be doing all this stuff on social media and texting people back and forth.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Tanya Rawls says the defendant rented a booth in her hair salon, but disrupted business when she convinced the other stylists to move into a new salon. She's suing for harassment, breach of contract, and defamation of character. She's accompanied in court today by Cherish Jones. Defendant Leah Powell says she doesn't know because Tanya made working conditions in the hair salon intolerable, and the stylist had no choice but to leave. She's countersuing for harassment and defamation of character. She's accompanied in court today by Jessica Matthews.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Rawls versus Powell.
Thank you, Juan. Tanya Rawls?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant, Leah Powell?
Yes.
For $5,000, you say, for harassment, defamation of character, breach of contract?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're countersuing, ma'am, for $5,000 for harassment and defamation of character?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and as I understand it, Ms. Rawls, you were the owner and operator of a hair salon in Little Rock, Arkansas?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the defendant came to work for you as an independent contractor and worked in your salon. And you say that when she left, she took several stylists with her and owned and operated her own salon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning and you give me some background on you?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I just opened up a salon called Hollywood Studios in October of 2014. Jessica, actually, the girl that's with her right now, she was actually my stylist from day one. What happened was I ended up firing 2 stylists before the year was out, and that's how Leah became, one of my replacements, basically.
Okay, and she was hired as an independent contractor, right? And that means that she rents a booth from you, am I correct?
Yes.
And how much did you pay to rent the booth from her?
$125.
$125. Okay, did the two of you enter into a written agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see that, please? What was the written agreement for? Was it for the booth in addition to rules and regulations in the salon?
I actually already sued her for the booth rental agreement, but I also am taking her for the breach of contract for rules and regulations of the salon.
Okay, so 2 different agreements. You say when she left, she breached her lease agreement for the booth.
Right.
You sued her for that and you won. How much did you win?
I won $900.
Okay, you're being sued a second time?
Yes.
Okay, now let me see the contract you're suing her about now. How long did you work at the salon?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, from what month to what month?
From January to April.
So you left and you breached the lease. There were 3 months left on the lease, right?
Yes.
And so that's what you were ordered to pay by the judge?
Yes.
Okay, and so what were the circumstances like when you worked there? Why did you leave early?
I left early because she has a boss mentality. She likes to come at you like she's paying you out of her own pocket, and I didn't feel like that was right because I pay you booth rent. I don't feel like you should approach me.
You're your own boss,
yes,
essentially, okay. How many stylists were working at that time?
6.
6, okay.
And I would tell her, like, Tanya, you got to calm down on how you're talking to people, because she would send us massive texts saying, if I find another hairball in the sink, I'm taking the sinks out the salon. You cannot do that. I had already got a lot of stylists coming to me saying they're tired of Tanya. She don't act right. She treats them bad.
And give me an example. What do you say she was doing?
I had this one incident with a client. I cut her hair and it was oily, and I told her once she shampooed it, it'll show the cut better.
Okay, so you had a disagreement with someone whose hair you were doing.
Yes.
What do you say she did to get involved in that?
She basically didn't want to pay, so she was like, where is the owner? Where is the boss? And I was like, I don't have a boss. Tanya come downstairs. Oh, what's wrong? She messed your cut up. And I was like, I thought that was very unprofessional because like I said,
I did
she's not
tell
my
you to make sure
boss.
cut up.
What do you say happened?
In the contract, I have rules and regulations that she signed and agreed to.
Right.
So it's things that you should and should not do, and one of them was not to argue with any clients or coworkers.
So she was arguing
back with her. Yes.
and she said that you say they were loud.
Yes, and then she could have easily just offered her a discount on her cut or decided to fix it. Once I approached Leah, she started going off on me saying, well, I'm my own boss. I do what I want to do. I ain't never been to no salon where the owner tried to tell me how to handle my clients.
That's not true.
She done that, so I chose not to argue back with her because we have people watching.
So that was the beginning of the end.
Right, basically.
Okay, so in this contract, this is interesting because this is actually for
5-page.
It's like a 5-page
Yes.
contract here, very detailed.
Yes.
But you repeatedly refer to your independent contractors as employees. All of the people who rent the booths from you, they are independent contractors, right?
I actually send them clientele.
They're not on your payroll, right, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
So they're their own bosses. They rent this space from you, but they have people who come in who are their own clients. You're not paying them, right?
Clients too.
But you're not paying these women, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what ends up happening? You say that she left and took all these stylists with her and opened her own salon. Tell me the circumstances of her leaving and what happened.
Well, basically she just walked out, which I have a screenshot of her saying that on Facebook, which is kind of making me look bad. And I say that's a defamation of character right there. When she said we all left, she had posted that on her Facebook page.
You posted that on your wall?
Yes.
After she put on
status.
Facebook that she fired all of us.
No, I did not.
Yes, she
Can
did.
you
So
What do you say
prove
she
it?
put on Facebook?
She put that I had to get rid of my whole team, and I said
No,
no,
I
we
did not
all
see
left. That
I never
I want to
posted
see.
that.
Hey, I want to see a screen grab of what you say happened on Facebook.
Coming up, was the salon sabotaged?
Do you think it's just a coincidence that when you left, everyone else left too?
Everyone was already wanting to leave before I even left.
Plaintiff Tanya Rawls says Leah disrupted business when she started her own salon and convinced the other stylists to leave. She's suing for harassment, breach of contract, and defamation of character. Defendant Leah Powell says she doesn't know because Tanya was intolerable and the stylist had no choice but to leave. She's countersuing for harassment and defamation of character.
When did you leave the salon?
I left April the 12th.
Is this a post or
That's a post.
A private message?
It's Facebook post.
Okay. She didn't say she fired everyone in the salon. Where did you say she wrote that?
I thought I had it. If it's not on there, I must have forgot it. But
Okay,
she
well, it's
said
not.
it.
I don't know what you mean. I just asked
Okay.
you, where's the post where you say she fired everyone? You gave me this. It's not here. What she said is, when I got out of school, nobody taught me anything for free. And how old are you? You're 27 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's nothing disparaging about that post. Now, let me look at yours, which is on April 29th, a couple of weeks after you left. No one got put out. We all left.
And I also have comments up under there from her and other stylists that's with her right now where they just said, yeah, we just walked out, things like that. And that makes me look bad because everyone is watching.
So why did you put that on Facebook? That
Because-
none of you got put out, but you all left.
Because she had put up a status that
I
she
did
all
not.
fired us. She always puts statuses up and then
not.
go back
okay,
and
but
erase them.
but you have no
You're
proof
right,
of that
Your Honor.
status. But go ahead.
But I don't have that, but I do have a witness today also.
Let me hear from your witness. Who are you, ma'am?
Jessica Matthews.
And did you work in the salon?
Yes.
For how long?
I was an original hire.
As an independent contractor?
Yes. I started with her in October. I was a student when I started.
You gonna make sure you get your hair right
Yeah.
before you, because Go ahead.
But Tanya consistently put subliminal messages on social media. I worked right next to her in her VIP area.
But what do you say was disparaging about her messages?
I said
I
she
can
I would
understand why
post.
you say this is a subliminal
puts
message,
up-
but there's nothing disparaging about
Not
it.
on that in particular one, but she puts up all type of stuff, how she gives us this and gives us that, and we don't have this and we don't have that.
You're not telling me anything specific that I find to be a disparaging mark against either one of you as an individual, and especially her. I need specific evidence. Let me ask you this, ma'am. Where do you work now?
I work independently. I don't work in anyone's.
Do you ever work for the defendant?
I worked in her salon about 2 months.
When?
Probably from June and July.
June and July.
Right.
When did you leave the plaintiff's
I
salon?
left her salon maybe around May.
Around May. And
May.
then you went and started working at the defendant's salon in June.
Mm-hmm.
When did you open your salon?
I opened my salon in May.
And what was the conversation you had with her about working at her salon?
I just asked, could I rent a booth because I'm in the transition of moving, relocating.
When did you find out she was opening her salon?
After she left.
What did she say to you? How did you find out about it?
She just told me that she's gonna leave and open her own salon because she can't work under those conditions anymore.
And did she say to you at that point, why don't you come and rent a booth from me?
No.
What?
No.
You left in May. Is there any particular reason why you left in May and then turned around and worked at her salon in June?
I left in May because I was tired of the environment. I could not take anymore. I had been through a set of 3 different girls, and she was on her 3rd set. I was her last original to leave. I couldn't take that anymore.
I was on my 2nd set.
Why did you leave her salon in July? You were only there for 2 months.
Because I'm relocating, so I cannot
Did you
afford-
relocate?
I'm in the process now.
Both of you are telling me you couldn't take it anymore, it wasn't a great environment, but I haven't heard one specific thing from you that would support what you're saying.
Coming up on Judge Faith, witness testimony reveals the truth about tensions in the salon.
Before she left, she was just on film on TV with me for the news, and we were supposed to do a hair show together. The week before she
Meanwhile,
left.
I was not even her Facebook friend.
that
You see
true?
what I'm saying?
Is that true the week
She
before?
had blocked and
Tell the
deleted me.
truth.
You had blocked and deleted me.
You're not
Yes,
helping
ma'am.
by talking to her.
Plaintiff Tanya Rawls says Leah disrupted her business. She's suing for harassment, breach of contract, and defamation of character. Defendant Leah Powell says she doesn't know because Tanya made working conditions in the hair salon intolerable. She's countersuing for harassment and defamation of character.
Who are you, ma'am?
My name's Cherish Jones. I am her assistant.
How long have you been her assistant?
I was appointed her since the January of this year.
January. Are you a stylist as well?
No, ma'am. I'm studying to be an accountant, so I help her with her taxes, coordinating tours, her day-to-day
Contracts,
operations.
everything like that.
I don't
Okay.
really-
When she left in May, started her own salon, how many stylists did you have working at your salon still?
I have 8 booths there. I'm actually one of the stylists, so it's 7 more stylists.
So there were 7 stylists.
Yes, ma'am.
All 7 stylists left?
Yes, ma'am.
And 3 of them end up working at her salon.
Yes, ma'am. And I have
And
stylists.
so the other
too.
4 just went their separate ways.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say she's the cause of all the stylists leaving?
Yes, ma'am. Because
Why
a
do you
lot
say
of them,
that?
a lot of them were there with me since day one until I hired Leah.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that everyone, when you left, everyone else left too?
Everyone was already wanting to leave before I left. Basically, all these stylists started saying what all Tanya was saying about each other. So we all basically, everything came out the table. She was talking about everybody in her salon
I
to
have
different
proof and
people.
text messages.
And it all came out. So a lot of the stylists were sick and tired of it, and they just left. I have messages that she's texted, and she's basically talked so bad about other stylists, and it all
I
just
didn't.
came
Texted
out.
who?
I never did.
She texted me and another stylist these messages. She made her own self lose all those people because she talked about everyone, and
No,
it
I
all
didn't.
got out. And
Let
it's
me
the
see your
messages.
I
text.
talked
Let me
about
see
them
yours.
after they left. I will admit that. But while they were in my salon, no, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, and this is after you left the salon, right? And the 2
Yes.
of you are engaged in litigation?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to find out,
Before.
that to me is not relevant.
And the
What's
second
relevant is what
page.
happened beforehand.
I have
In the
that.
second
Before,
page.
because I'm trying to figure out, is it true that you left and convinced other people to leave when you left, therefore impacting her business? And so when I look at these text messages that you've submitted, it's more of the same of what I read on Facebook.
Right.
There's nothing disparaging here. My question for you is, when the other individuals left, you sued her for breach of her lease.
Right.
What about the other individuals? Did they breach their lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sue them?
That's what we're doing right now. I'm doing it one by one.
Your Honor,
Jessica, step up for a second. So when you left in May, you were still in the middle of a booth lease?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
No, ma'am, I never signed
When
a
was
contract.
your lease up?
I never signed a contract with Tanya.
Do you have a copy of her booth lease agreement?
I don't remember. I remember letting everybody sign it. I don't know if I lost it, but I don't have it. And then another thing
So
is,
you never signed an agreement, you were just month to month. I'm
I
sorry?
never signed an agreement.
Okay, you don't sound very convincing right now. I'm just
I
trying to
never-
understand.
The crazy part is, before she left, she was just on film on TV with me for the news, and we were supposed to do a hair show together. So I'm
Your
not
Honor.
understanding why she left. And we went out to eat, and I got her makeup done and done her sew-in right before the week before she
Meanwhile,
left.
I was not even her Facebook
Is
friend.
that
You see
true?
what I'm saying?
Is
She
that
had-
true the week
She
before?
had blocked and
Tell the
deleted me.
truth.
You
Ma'am,
had blocked
ma'am.
and deleted me.
You're not
Answer
helping
that.
by talking to her. You're what? I'm just trying to get.
This is too much. Like, I done went through enough of this with her. I'm so over her and this.
Honest.
Like, this is too much. For one, I never signed an agreement with her because I already heard how she was prior going into there. She is a good stylist. Now, I'm going to give her that. She does good work. So I'm like, coming fresh out of school, then yes, I want to be under somebody that can help me grow.
Yeah,
But everything that comes with her is not even worth it to me. Leah never persuaded me to leave. She never persuaded any of the other stylists to leave. Me and a couple more originals, we stuck it out because we were by her side. We believed in her and her brand. What really just was like the last straw was when the last original left and all these other people were coming in. I decided that was not the environment for me anymore because I had already went through stuff which I should have probably previously been left before a lot of them, but I didn't.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Matthews. That was actually very helpful.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
The contract that I find she breached is her booth contract. She clearly breached that, and you got a judgment. You have to pay a $900 judgment as a result. In terms of the rules and regulations, there may have been a couple of incidents where she probably acted out of line with one of her clients. You have to prove to me that that somehow damaged you. So what would have been better for you if you would have brought a disgruntled customer, someone who says that they didn't want to come to your salon anymore as a result of the defendant's actions instead of just bringing your assistant. That would have been the best evidence for you. Your judgment against her for the $900, you really should have stopped right there. Because what I find is independent contractors, they are their own bosses. If they breached a lease, then you sue them for breaching the lease and you get damages as a result of that. But I'm not convinced that the defendant convinced all of them, and really this is based a lot on Ms. Matthews' testimony, I'm not convinced that the defendant is the sole reason why all of these women left your salon and left your booth. Ms. Matthews is one of the women who left your salon. I find her testimony to be credible as to the reasons why she left. I don't think it was because of the defendant. You are countersuing for harassment and defamation of character, and I assume that's because of the defaming Facebook posts you say exist, but you could not present to me in court today. Today is your day in court. This is the one day and the opportunity that you have to come in here and lay it all on the line. Not one single defamatory message have you given me. I think you countersued because she sued you. And at some point, you got to stop bringing all these lawsuits. Just move on and do your business. You already have 6 other people renting booths from you in the salon. It didn't work out with her. It didn't work out with Ms. Matthews. It didn't work out with a few other people. It's all good. You have other people who are going to come in and work from you, learn from the experience, but you can't go around suing everyone every time someone leaves. I like your work ethic. You're 27 years old. You started this salon at what age?
26.
26 years old. Most people at that age aren't running a business like you're trying to do. But I'm just telling you that in this business, in this world, all these text messages, all the talking about what's going on, if you're going to run a business and be the leader, you got to operate at a higher level. You got to stay above all of that. On your counterclaim for harassment and defamation of character, that's dismissed. Ms. Rawls, I do not find that you've met your burden of proof in this case, that the plaintiff caused you $5,000 in damages for breach of contract, harassment, and defamation of character. I think you're upset because she left the salon. I think you're upset because other stylists left the salon, but you haven't proven to me and have not convinced me that she is the sole reason and cause of that. Judgment in this case for the defendant, but your counterclaim is dismissed against the plaintiff. Good luck.
I feel like Tanya, she's the type of person that will continue to go after you, and I think this judge let her know that she needs to stop and go on and live her life and leave other people alone.
My relationship with Leah, it probably won't change. Simple fact that it has caused me a lot of heartache, a lot of problems, and then it also has maybe people looking at me in a different light.
Today on Judge Faith, her good deed was repaid with a bogus check.
I received a letter in the mail and it said the bank stopped payment on the check.
But is her Good Samaritan act real or fake?
I checked it out.
online from where the check came from, and it turned out to be legitimate to me.
Now, Judge Faith decides which friend is running a cashier's check card.
This is so outrageous. I know we are in Los Angeles, but this is not Hollywood.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Brandy Mayfield says her former friend gave her a bogus check and scammed her out of money. She's suing for an unpaid loan and a bad check fee. Defendant Frank Swain says he doesn't owe anything because his check was good and he would never play his friend.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Mayfield versus Swain.
Thank you, Juan. Brandy Mayfield,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are suing the defendant Frank Swain
Yes, Your Honor.
for $2,412 for an unpaid loan and for refund for a bad check.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning, Ms. Mayfield? How do you know Mr. Swain?
I was on the LOA for my job for a year and a half.
What's
and I-
LOA? Leave of absence. Okay.
And I had just returned to work, and shortly thereafter, he began there. And initially, I thought he was an employee as well with my agency, but he was there for I later discovered he was there for a work experience type of job, so it wasn't a job.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a social work practitioner for a governmental agency, local government.
Okay, so you met him at work.
Yes, and he was doing clerical office assistance type of things there.
Okay, and what happened?
Well, walking back and forth. There's like about 200 of us in the building, and he walked back and forth bringing mail to my area, and hi, how you doing? It began casually like that.
Did the two of you become friends, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Tell me about that friendship.
Just started out casual, just delivering mail, files, and things like that, and became a work-related thing, became friends outside of that building. And
yeah, and we went to lunch,
But this wasn't a romantic relationship?
Oh, not at all.
Okay,
no.
Just friends?
Just friends. Me and a couple coworkers, we'd go to lunch, and he'll come with us to lunch and things.
Okay, so what brings us here today? Why are you suing him?
Well, initially, later in November, he had borrowed $250 from me. He had stated that he had won a settlement because his ex-wife had passed away due to malpractice. He was getting this big settlement.
Is that true, sir?
And
yes, I had been working on getting that settlement for 6 years because my first wife had passed due to negligence of a doctor.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so and what was the conversation?
And he had told me that his lawyer needed $500 from him to close the case and get his money issued to him. Then I said, you know what? If you're going to be paying me back this money soon, fine. If this is going to get you so you can have your life can be better and give you a better start, another start in life, fine. I'll loan you the $250. So after that, a little later, he stated that his mother's husband had passed away suddenly, and he needed to get to Arizona to be with her over the reading of the will, and that his family was being kind of aggressive with her, and he wanted to be there. And I said, you know what? Since you're about to get the big settlement anyway, here's $200 for the Greyhound ticket, and here's another $50 so he can have some cash.
So you gave him another $250?
Yeah, so a total of $500 by this time.
And is that true as well?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And what happened?
My mother's husband that she is with, he had passed away. He had stage 4 cancer. Mm-hmm. None of my family wanted to go there to be with my mom. She asked me to be there as a moral support and to help her with funeral arrangements, reading of the will, and so on and things of that nature.
Okay, and so she loans you $500 over the course of what, a month?
Probably maybe a month and a half.
Okay, so far she's a pretty good friend to you, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what's the plan? How does he pay you back for these loans?
It was going to come from the settlement. Once he was going to be cashed out of the settlement, he was going to, and that was my initial impression. So he presented me February-ish of 2015 this year, he stated they issued me a payment toward the settlement of $1,900. They gave me a cashier's check. And, me thinking...
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
They did issue a check towards the settlement?
I had received a cashier's check for $1,900.
And it was towards the settlement, sir?
I received it in the mail.
Can you answer the question, yes or no? Was it towards the settlement?
That's what my first initial understanding was of that check. Yes, Your Honor.
I'll get back to that. Go ahead.
And so I said, well, cool. You imagine that a cashier's check, you have to pay cash to get that check. So that makes it different than a personal check that someone will give you. So I had initial reservations, but I said, you know what? My thought was, I'm finally going to be paid my $500. I wouldn't have never loaned that to him if I was going to have to wait such an extended time to get paid back. So I said, okay, cool. So we went to the bank.
So he asked you to put the cashier's check into your bank account?
Because he didn't have a personal account.
And you thought that's fine because it's a cashier's check and I'll get my money?
I threw caution to the wind because I think I was overshadowed by wanting to have my money back instead of doing things. I would never have done this.
Coming up on Judge Faith, Brandy claims she was blindsided by a bogus check, while Frank denies he gave his friend a fake.
This is from the company's payment department. Who is the company?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Plaintiff Brandy Mayfield says her former friend destroyed her trust when he attempted to use a fake check to pay her back. She's suing for an unpaid loan and a bad check fee. Defendant Frank Swain says he doesn't owe anything because the cashier's check was legit and his former friend kept the money.
So we went to the bank, and I was trying to rush back to work, so I deposited into my ATM account.
Did he sign this cashier's check over to you?
Yes, he did.
Okay, you deposited through the ATM, not a bank teller.
Hindsight, I would have walked into the bank and they'd been, don't do it. So I deposited in, and they gave me $200. And so I noticed that initially he wanted all the $200. I said, no, you're gonna, this whole point of you giving this money is for you to pay me back. So we split it. I gave him 100, I took 100. And then I think maybe a day or two later, we got 400 out. He gave me 200. And he kept the 200.
So he was going to put this $1,900 in your account. You keep the 500 he owes you, and the rest you would give back to him.
Yes.
Okay.
Give him back the.
So what happens? You end up the bank contacts you.
I went to the emergency room. I needed treatment. He would say, I have to go out of town. I have to make these payments. He was like really insistent. So he even came up to the hospital. I mean, I think about
came up to the hospital
thinking
for
about
what?
the character, because he wanted to continue to get the money out, so he can go out of town, make these payments or whatever. And so he came up there and then went and got the money, and then once again split that money. The additional, like you only can get maybe like 400 or 500 out per day.
So he's getting a little bit at a time.
Yes, and then I'm getting more payment toward what I owed, and then he's getting the remainder.
What happened with the check?
I received a letter in the mail from Chase, my bank, and they said—
How many days later?
It was a week later, and it said that it was not honored. The bank, BECU of Seattle, stopped payment on the check because it must have been fraudulent.
Do you have the letter?
Yes.
So what did you do? Did you go to the police?
Yes, I did.
Did you make a police report?
Yes, I did. I filed a police report in March of this year.
Let me see the police report.
Oh, here's a police report as well.
Okay. Let me see the report, please. It's a fake check. It's not real. Someone probably created it on a computer to make it look like a real cashier's check, but according to the bank and according to the police, this is a fake check. Where'd you get the fake check from?
At first, I thought it was from the settlement, but I had been friends with several people online, and that's when I found out it came from a lady that I was friend with online.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you just said.
Me neither.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You received a $1,900 cashier's check, so you say. Who sent it to you?
The lady's name that sent it to me, her name was Lisa.
Who is Lisa? And why was she sending you a $1,900 check?
That's what I never understood, Your Honor. I never asked for no money or nothing like that of that nature.
Who is Lisa?
A lady I was a friend with online.
She has your address?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, because this is certainly starting to be clear to me why you wanted to put this check into her account. So Lisa, last name unknown, sends you a $1,900 check just because she felt like it. She met you online.
Okay. I have a letter that came with that check too, Your Honor, if I could show that to you.
I'm not there yet. I want to talk about Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa sends you a check, a $1,900 cashier's check for no reason that you know of. You never asked for money.
For it, no.
And how does she have your address?
I had given it to her.
For what reason?
Because we were becoming good friends and she wanted to come and meet me in person because we were conversing online.
So you gave her your home address.
Yes,
and instead
I did.
of her coming in person, she sends you $1,900.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't know why.
No,
so
Your Honor,
you get the
I do not.
$1,900 and you what online website are you on?
I was on a couple of different ones.
What is it? Christian Mingles, Plenty of Fish. I've heard of them. I've heard of them all.
I have been on Plenty of Fish before.
Let me see the letter. Let me see the letter. So this Lisa from Plenty of Fish decides to send you a $1,900 check. Does she write a note and say, "Hey Frank, great talking to you on Plenty of Fish. I just want to send you $1,900"?
That's the letter I received with that.
Because to me, if I got a $1,900 check with something like this, which doesn't even make any sense, this would raise all kinds of red
You're right, Your Honor. It
flags
don't
to
make
me.
no sense.
Right, which is probably why, again,
But-
you went to her for her to put this into her bank account.
Yeah, I asked her to help me.
May I
yeah.
see the- may I
You're
see
right,
the
Your
letter,
Honor. I
please?
did, and I did do preliminary checks to make sure that it was all legitimate.
No, you didn't, because if
Yes,
you
I did.
you know this was a fake check.
No, I did not.
So this is the letter that Lisa sent you.
It came with that check.
Lisa
In
sent it
the,
according to you. Did you ask Lisa after she sent this to you? Did you write her and say, "Hey, what's going on? Why do I have a 19?"
Yes, I did.
And what did
With
she
no-
say in response to that?
I did email her 3 times with no response back.
So you're saying a woman named Lisa sends you a $1,900 cashier's check for no reason, and she has this attached to it, and you write her 3 times after you get the check, she doesn't respond, and you think this is legitimate?
I have no idea, Your Honor. But
I
know
think you knew. I think you know exactly what's going on. Hello, recipient. This is someone's name, not Lisa.
Exactly.
Do you know who this individual is?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
This is from the company's payment department. Who is the company?
Your guess is good as mine.
These funds are being sent to you as instructed by your supervisor, employer, hiring manager. Who is that person?
I have no idea that either. But from what I understand with a cashier's check, Your Honor,
I'm not asking you about a cashier's check. I'm asking you about your story right now, which is not making a lot of sense. Please be sure to notify me via email and make a full report on payment made and a deposit slip attached to in documentation to the email above. And so you get something like this, and there are about 10, if this really happened, because you could have created this check yourself on a computer.
No.
You're coming
That's
up with
what
a
he
story.
did.
I don't know. Because this is so outrageous and so insane that someone would get something like this and you would actually think that this is legitimate, and you want to come into court and you actually want to look at me with a straight face and expect me to believe this?
I'm just telling you what happened, Your Honor.
I know we are in Los Angeles, but this is not Hollywood.
Coming up, bouncing checks and deepening deception.
I'm trying to understand whether you perpetrated this fraud or whether, as you claim, you're a victim of fraud. But either way, it
Well, I
doesn't
feel
add
I'm as
up.
much as a victim as the plaintiff is because
Either way, it doesn't add up. And then you saw that this check had these names scratched out and his initials, and you still decided to put it into your account?
Plaintiff Brandy Mayfield says her former friend used a fraudulent check to pay her back. She's suing for an unpaid loan and a bad check fee. Defendant Frank Swain says he owes nothing because he thought the cashier's check was legit.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand whether you perpetrated this fraud or whether, as you claim, you're a victim of fraud. But either way, it doesn't
I feel
add
I'm
up.
as much as a victim as the plaintiff is because
Either way, it doesn't add up. No, you're not. You're not a victim, sir, because this is what I call, if you get a cashier's check under these circumstances, what you did, this is what I call willful ignorance. You are looking
Excuse
the
me?
other way. You should have known
I'm far
that
from
this
being-
was not
Your
legitimate.
Honor?
You should have known.
but I didn't know, and I'm far from being ignorant, Your Honor.
You should have known. Under the law, it's called willful ignorance. So you get the check. Let me see the check. You sign it over to the plaintiff.
Yes, I did.
I have some questions. You signed this over to the plaintiff. This is your handwriting, paid to Brandy Mayfield?
Yes, Your Honor. it is.
Okay, who is this check signed over to? You have 2 names. It looks like it was endorsed 2 times prior to that, and your initials are on the side. What happened?
That's where I had signed it out myself to my name, and then I had scribbled it out. The bottom one was driver's license number, the top one was my name, and I had scribbled them out.
And what was the point of you doing that?
Because I had no accounts to cash it, and I had went somewhere at a check cashing place or something. I was gonna go there to cash it.
And what happened? They told you it was fake?
No, they never told me nothing.
And so then you went to Brandy? You don't endorse a check and put your information on it if you're not going somewhere to try to cash it. You went and you tried to cash this check and they didn't let you, and then you went to Brandy. That's exactly what it looks like you did. And then you saw that this check was scratched out and had these names scratched out and his initials, and you still decided to put it into your account?
I shouldn't have, Your Honor. You know,
what did you think when you saw that?
Only thing that I think I was blinded by the fact that I wanted my $500 from him so I could have been done with the situation. And he stated, he didn't say he got the check from Lisa, from the company and the management. He said he got that from his lawyer, from his settlement. If he'd have said he got that from Lisa, from the internet and all this other stuff, I'd have never did it.
You told her that?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Why'd you lie?
Because at first, when I first got it, that's where I thought it came from until I actually saw the letter and all that other stuff.
You're talking in circles, sir.
No, I'm
You're
not.
talking in circles. Wait a minute.
That's crazy.
You think this is from your lawyer, the letter that I just went through?
Not until I saw that.
Stop.
Okay, whatever.
You got this check? No, it's not whatever. It's not whatever. We're gonna resolve this today. It's not whatever.
Yes, Your Honor.
You got this check in the mail with this letter, which makes no sense whatsoever, and you think this is from your lawyer as a part of a settlement, so you lied to her. You knew this was not from your lawyer as a part of a settlement.
After I saw that letter, yes, you're right, Your Honor. I knew that part wasn't.
So once you got this check, and you knew it wasn't from your lawyer, you still gave it to her to deposit into her account.
Yes, I did ask her to help me. And then I checked it out online from where the check came from, and it turned out to be legitimate to me.
Is there an open investigation?
Yes, I
into
talked to the detective of financial crimes of my city, and they told me that they have a lot of financial crimes going on, that I could do some follow-up calls myself because they didn't know when they were going to be able to do some investigation.
So there's an open criminal investigation?
Yes. I talked to a representative of BECU of Seattle, and she told me the only thing she could tell me, because I wasn't law enforcement, was that the check was never issued to him.
Well.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
I've seen these types of cases in the DA's office where I work, these fake check cases, and everyone always has a story. It's never my fault. I don't know where it came from. There's no paper trail. And when there's no paper trail, all I have is the person who had it, because I have one person in front of me today. I can tell you right now, the detectives, they are not going to call Lisa, because there is no Lisa. You are Lisa.
No, I'm not.
The paper trail in this case starts and ends with you.
Well,
so you can, I'm telling you right now,
Your Honor,
you're gonna get the phone call, and you better come up with a better story than what you're telling me here in court today, or you're going to jail.
I called the company that's at the top of that check.
And to do this to your friend, the person who loaned you $500, this is the person you do this to? Unbelievable.
Well,
totally.
My last question to you is your name really Frank Swain?
Yes, it is.
Get his credentials before he leaves here today.
Definitely.
Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,412.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Today on Judge Faith, was he the victim of a crime committed by his cousin?
The IRS agent showed me pictures of her mama, of her brother, and told me this is our identity theft ring.
Or was she the target of a jealous family member?
I do think that's incorrect. I do not remember the case. I do not remember the date.
Now Judge Faith uncovers the truth behind the cousin-on-cousin crime.
Under no circumstances, not in 2015, not in 2010, not in 1965, were you supposed to have funds transferred into your bank account.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Jacob Lewis says he got a surprise visit from IRS agents informing him his cousin had altered his tax return and stolen his identity. He's suing for his tax refund. Defendant Jehoadan Wilson says her cousin is suing because he's hard up for cash and she doesn't owe anything. She's accompanied by Joanne Wilson.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Lewis versus Wilson.
Thank you, Juan. Jacob Lewis.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant, Jehoadan Wilson, for $6,086 for a tax return refund?
That's correct, Your
And
Honor.
as I understand from reviewing your papers and your evidence, the defendant was your former tax preparer.
Yes, that is correct.
And you are
Your Honor.
alleging that she filed a false return and kept the refund from that return, and you're suing her in court today?
That is correct, Your
So why
Honor.
don't we start from the beginning? Tell me how you know Ms. Wilson in addition to being your tax preparer.
Ms. Wilson is actually my cousin. On this one particular occasion in 2010 or 2009, she called me and stated that she was moving and she needed my help. She was getting evicted. She was actually getting evicted.
Were you getting evicted?
No, I wasn't, Your Honor.
She was getting evicted, Your Honor, and the house that she was in was stolen.
What do you mean by a stolen house? You mean she was
broke-
squatting?
No, she broke into the house and moved all her furniture in there and was staying there.
Okay, so that is squatting. Were you squatting in someone's house, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Did you have a legal right to be in this home?
Yes, Your Honor.
Whose home was it?
It was my home I was leasing. I don't know where he's concocted this story.
So you weren't being evicted, you were just moving to, where did you move?
I moved to Brentwood, Your Honor. At that time, he was helping me move into a new residence of mine.
And she moved into a new home? Where did you move her?
I moved her, I got her stuff into the U-Haul.
Are you an accountant?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, when did you get your license?
I am not a CPA, a certified public accountant. I am a business accountant. So I am certified and registered as a tax preparer, and I got registered in 2009. That's October of 2009.
What evidence do you have that she was squatting?
She told me that she had to move out this place and she had to get out right now.
Because?
Because she was getting evicted out of the house. It was somebody else's house.
And did you tell him that?
No, Your Honor.
Why the pause?
Because I was seeing, he said that, he was helping me move and he didn't help me move out nowhere. He helped me move into my new residence. So how did he help me move out somewhere
That's
when
untrue,
he
Your
helped me
Honor.
move in? So it's two different stories going on here.
Okay, but
so you
but-
can see that it's not true.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm just asking you, did you ever tell him what you
Absolutely
said you told
not,
him?
Your Honor.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. What year is it that you say you helped her move, sir?
It was maybe 2009, 2010.
What county?
Contra Costa County, and still remain in Contra Costa County.
And in November 2009, you had a case filed against you for an unlawful detainer charge
Yes.
filed against you. What's that
Yes.
about?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, in 2009, I pulled your background. I did a
Okay.
background
Well,
check
I
on
don't
you.
remember, Your Honor, I'm
and in
sorry.
2009, you had a case against you in Contra Costa County in the state of California. You had an unlawful detainer charge against you. You don't remember that case?
No, I do think that's incorrect. I do think that's incorrect. I do not remember the case. I do not remember the date. I don't remember
When
at
did you
all.
move her? Or what month?
2009.
What month?
November, about November, December, something
November
like that.
20th, 2009, ma'am. That's on your
November
record.
20th, 2009, I was not moving.
I thought you said you didn't remember.
No, he helped me move in June of 2009. So that does not, that does not coordinate the dates. That's why I said I don't know anything about that. So the dates don't coordinate.
How convenient. How convenient.
Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, I do have you all receipts. So
You don't remember an unlawful detainer case filed against you in 2009. You have absolutely no memory of what that's
Absolutely
about
not.
and what
Absolutely
happened to
not.
that case.
Absolutely
Did you go to
not.
court?
Absolutely, I don't know, Your Honor. I don't remember.
Ma'am, do you remember anything about this? Is this this is your mother? Would you step
Yeah,
over to the
okay.
lectern, please? Ms. Wilson, do you know anything about this unlawful detainer filed against your daughter in November of 2009?
I don't actually remember what years like that, but I remember something about she went to court about, you know.
So she told you she went to court for unlawful detainer?
I just knew that in Brentwood, it was something going on with a landlord and my daughter, and she was going to court fighting, dealing with a situation of a house. Mm-hmm. That's all I know.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
She was being honest.
Mm-hmm.
You're not.
Because Your Honor, it has nothing to do with the case.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with the case.
I make that determination, not you.
Coming up on Judge Faith, this isn't the first time one of these cousins has been to court.
So according to you, you never finished your 2010 return with her?
I never. She went to jail again on something else.
Is that true?
Plaintiff Jacob Lewis says he discovered he was the victim of a tax fraud ring when the FBI raided his cousin's business. He's suing for his tax refund. Defendant Jehoadan Wilson says she doesn't owe her cousin any money because she correctly filed his tax return.
Tell me about your lawsuit against her, sir. Tell me about the allegations you're making that she fraudulently prepared your 2010 tax return.
I went to her office. She got my personal information, my personal, you know, my...
What year is this?
This is approximately 2011.
2011 for your 2010 return?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You go to her office, you give her your personal information, you say this is how much money I made this year, and I want you to file this tax return for me.
Right.
Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Okay. What do you say happened?
Okay. I give her my personal identifying information. I talk to her cuz. She say, yeah, okay, sign this, sign that, right?
Did she prepare your tax return for 2010?
She prepared them, but not right then.
And was it filed with the IRS?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's the issue?
Later on, the IRS called me at my home and says, where are you at? We need to talk to you and everything. I'm at home. They come to my home. IRS agent. I ain't never seen an IRS agent. The IRS agent showed me pictures of her mama, of her brother, and told me this is an identity theft ring. Do you own a business? This is what the IRS agent asked me. Do you own a business? I said, no, sir, Your Honor. I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, have you ever owned a business? I've never owned a business. Okay, and he studied writing stuff as I'm telling him, okay? You show me their pictures and say you've been a victim of identity theft.
What did they say happened?
She filed my tax return as a business.
Show me what the IRS gave you.
Okay.
Did you not look at your 2010 return when she completed it and sign off on it? And it
I didn't have a knowledge of it.
But you went to her to file your 2010 return. Did you not see a completed return that was submitted to the IRS?
No.
You never saw that?
No.
So according to you, she never finished the 2010 return?
She sent me a letter later on stating that she needed to update her credentials and she going on vacation.
So according to you, you never finished your 2010 return with her?
I never. She went to jail again on something else.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Okay, so according to you, no return was ever filed for you on 2010 according to your knowledge, but the IRS is saying that it was.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is your version of this?
With his permission, I did file a 2000 tax return.
2010 tax return.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
It was filed, I believe, in 2011.
In that 2010 tax return, which I have a copy of here, and you're saying this is the return that you prepared on his behalf.
Yes, Your
correct?
Honor. Yes.
Did he get a refund?
Yes, he did.
He got a refund of over $4,000, and it was wired into 2 different bank accounts. Who do these bank accounts belong to? You prepared this return, correct? You put this information in this return, correct?
No, that's not correct.
Who did, if you didn't?
I filed a tax return on his behalf. I did not put any information on the paper.
Where did this information come from?
From just conversations, statements from the client.
Who submitted this to the IRS?
It was electronically filed originally.
By who, ma'am?
By my office, Your Honor.
By you?
Yes, in my office.
Okay, by you. There are 2 bank accounts On this 2010 tax return,
Yes.
money is being directed into 2 bank accounts. Who do these bank accounts belong to?
One is mine, my business, okay? And then the second one is his account.
Mine.
And for
Why are you
2010.
depositing? Why are you depositing
Your Honor, she never
funds
deposited.
into?
For my
not
fees.
asking you a question.
It was for my fees, Your Honor.
No, ma'am. That is inappropriate and it is unethical.
Actually, the law didn't change until
Absolutely
this year.
not.
So
Absolutely
before
not.
then,
If you
it was
think for
still-
1 second you're going to come in here and tell me that this is a new law, that as a
It
tax
actually
preparer,
is a new law.
that as a tax preparer, you can legally have your client's funds transferred electronically into your account, I'm telling you right now, that game is not going to work with me.
Okay, well, Your Honor,
It is absolutely inappropriate.
yes,
Under no circumstances, not in 2015, not in 2010, not in 1965, were you supposed to have funds transferred into your bank account.
Coming up, the cousin versus cousin caper gets even more complicated.
Why does it say this return is self-prepared,
because of the
ma'am?
software was very basic.
You have got to be kidding me.
Plaintiff Jacob Lewis says his cousin fraudulently filed his tax return and stole his identity. He's suing for his tax refund. Defendant Jehoadan Wilson says she did nothing wrong and owes no money.
Are you saying that the funds, there were 2 bank accounts listed, she said one is hers, one is yours. Did you ever receive, is this your bank account listed on this 2010 return?
No, Your Honor, that is not my bank account.
Have you seen the 2010 return?
No, not other than what I gave you.
How much did you have transferred into
Your
your
Honor,
account?
that's what I'm trying to explain, Your Honor. There was no money transferred to my account. Initially, there
You just said it
was,
was.
in 2013, initially there was supposed to be, but he got audited. The IRS stopped the transfer. No money was transferred. The IRS stopped it because he got audited. They submitted documentation to him via his address saying that we're not going to release any money. That's the documentation I provided to you. We're not going to release any money until you provide us more additional information.
Well,
Your
where did
Honor.
this $2,500 payment you say in your answer, where did that come from?
In what year, Your Honor?
Did you file more than one tax return on his behalf?
Yes, we had a working relationship.
What year do you say you filed taxes on his
I
behalf?
filed his 2009 tax return. I filed his 2010 tax return.
After 2010, what year?
2011 was the final tax return.
Do you have a copy of that return?
Yes, I do have a copy, Your Honor.
When did you charge him $2,500 for
In 2012,
2012? And
Yes.
where did that money come from?
it came from his tax return, Your Honor. My fees were deposited from his tax return into my business account.
You say you prepared this return?
Yes, Your
Why
Honor.
does it say it's self-prepared?
Because, Your Honor, when I first started my business, I was using a basic software, so it was no pre-filled PDF. Pre-filled PDF is basically when you could type in your
Why
information.
does it say this return is self-prepared,
Because of the
ma'am?
software was very basic. I was cheap at the time. I was just starting
Why
out.
does this say, instead of your name, why did you type in self-prepared instead of your name?
Because the software wouldn't allow me
Oh,
to.
because of a software glitch.
No, it wasn't a glitch. It was just a cheap software.
It didn't allow you to put your name as a preparer. It
No.
only allowed you to put that a return is
Yeah,
self-prepared.
it was very basic.
This is the whole ongoing scheme, Your Honor. This is the whole ongoing.
Yeah, and there are plenty of basic softwares
That's what
out.
I'm
It's
trying to
not a
explain.
professional software.
You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. I told you, Your Honor.
You have got to be kidding me. You said in 2012 he received his 2010 tax refund, which was over $4,000.
No, I did
You
not
said-
say that.
Yeah, you're saying that now because it's not really joshing with your story that you're telling in court right now, right?
Right.
That's the first honest thing you've said in court today.
Oh, thank you.
You said you withdrew his refund in cash minus your fee of $2,500 for his 2010 refund. So I
No,
have
it's 2011. That's the 2011.
So this is another typo?
2000.
another
It's supposed to be 2011.
Editing glitch?
Yeah.
You cannot possibly expect me to take you seriously as a tax preparer, not knowing the law and commingling funds. And I don't think you're just ignorant of the law. I think that you're just unethical.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
There are several issues here. First, you've told me so many different stories. I'm not exactly sure what happened to all of the money in this refund, but clearly you got some money from this, and you did it in an inappropriate way. You still haven't explained to me why he was charged $2,500 for you to do his tax refund, which is an outrageous amount of money to charge someone for doing their refund. You filing these returns, and you have it as self-prepared, and you signed these returns under penalty of perjury, and you're perjuring yourself to the federal government.
I didn't sign the tax return, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the IRS and the FBI ran into their houses and took their hard drives.
Are you being investigated by the IRS, or have you been?
Your Honor, I was questioned only because of some things that happened in the business, but I was not involved in all of the things. I had employees and all that other stuff, so I'm a business.
You have to take this up with the IRS. What you have to do is you have to then go and file your own paper return with the IRS, let them know that, and you have been in contact with them.
I have.
They alerted you.
And they told me in order for me to get my refund back, to take it to civil court and ask for restitution.
If she inappropriately received funds from the federal government, the federal government has to get that money from her and then reallocate it to you.
Well, they had frozen her accounts. They froze her accounts.
Have your accounts been frozen?
No, Your Honor.
It's really impossible for me to determine exactly what has happened here. I don't have 4 weeks to spend on this case because there's absolutely a lot going on here. But what I do see for sure is that the defendant concedes that she took $2,500 from you and charged you.
No.
You cannot speak again. I don't want to hear your voice again in this courtroom. In her papers, she testified in her answer that she received a refund on your behalf and had that deposited into her business account, which was completely inappropriate. And she said that she kept $2,500 of that money and gave the rest to you. She probably didn't give the rest to you, but I'm just saying what she said in her papers. What I'm going to do here today is what I can in my jurisdiction, which is order her to pay you, to refund you that $2,500. The rest of your issues, you really have to go back and take that up with the federal government.
I'm sorry,
Judgment in this case for the plaintiff. Trust me, no one's happier to hear that than me. Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,500.